What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is forgetting the day sometimes. It's Monday, December 9th, 2024. Just 22 days left in this year. Wow, this year has flown by so fast. My name is Chris Drummond. I'm a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here. Proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. She is an actress, and her acting career has spanned it for the past 35 years. She has been in credits of films such as Weekend at Bernie's, Charmers, and also her film Peter 5'8" that stars Kevin Spacey and Rebecca De Mornay. She is someone that's going to talk about her why of getting into acting in the media industry, and she's also going to talk about her why of being able to act in a different range of movies, and if there was anything besides acting that she would have liked to have done. We're gonna get to know a little bit on the outside as well. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, the talented Kelley Poling.
Hang on. I'm going to spin you, Chris.
That's okay, no problem. Hey, how we doing?
Hey.
You look absolutely lovely. I just want to start off by saying that.
Aw, thank you. How are
You're
you?
I'm doing very good, Kelley. Doing very good. I want to say also thank you for being on my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I want to ask you, how is your week starting off?
Well, I'm supposed to be in jury duty this week, so
Hmm.
it's called, you have to call after 6, see if you get assigned. So it's a
Hmm.
little bit boring because I kind of cleared my schedule, but not really. I mean, I keep myself busy.
Absolutely. No, I totally understand that jury duty stuff. I've
Yeah.
been there. No question about that. Okay, I'm with you on that. I want to reiterate to you, Kelley, why I wanted to have you on my podcast. First off, is your name Poling or Polly?
Poling. He had a
Poling.
good,
Okay.
yeah, you said it right.
Got you. Okay, always one of those tricky last names. So I wanted to make sure I had that right. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to have you on here is because I'm in the media as a journalist. You're in the media as a professional actor. I know your career has spanned it 3+ decades, acting in all kinds of films. Just doing a little bit of research for sure. Weekend at Bernie's, which is a classic. I did not know.
Yeah.
Definitely a
Yeah,
classic.
back then my lead title was Bikini Chick. Back in the day. I was in
All
Days
right.
of Thunder and all kinds of movies, but Bikini Chick, so you don't really put that anywhere.
Right, right. I was like, wow, okay. I definitely remember that movie. And then I know I saw Charmers as well, that you also have acting credits in that movie as well. I believe it's called Charmers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I played one of the lead's mom, the lead's mom. I play the lead's mom. That's what I do now.
Absolutely. And obviously your most recent one that I saw was Peter 5'8". And the reason why I knew of that one is I'm huge fans of Kevin Spacey and Rebecca De Mornay, who star in that movie, but you're also in that one as well, which is amazing. So we'll definitely get to talk about that a little bit. But the reason why I wanted to have you on is because we're both in media, and I love to hear about different people's stories and their why
Mhm.
of why they do what they do. And I'll love to hear about different genres of occupations as well. Like I said, I'm a journalist, so I'm a writer. I do sports and entertainment. So I like to write, like to do that, and you act. So you're on the stage. And if I wasn't a journalist, I probably would be in theater because I really enjoy theater. I love theater and love musicals. So I have an appreciation and a respect for you. So I'm very happy that you said yes to this.
Well, thank you. And I have a great respect for you also. Being a writer is not easy.
Thank you
I
so
have
much.
to, I usually write something and then I have to send it around and have people look at it and change some of this because, I send out press releases and I do my own kind of writing.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, listen, without any further ado, let me get into it. The first question is always the same for every single guest that I have on here on my podcast. And that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models growing up? Did you have any inspirations? You kind of wanted to mirror your career after, but what is your why of getting into acting and getting into the media industry?
I have a lot of role models,
Hmm.
different for different things, like I like this person for that and this person for that. Um, I think the main reason why I'm in this is to further being of service. I like to I like to figure out how I can use what I have, my talents as a professional, as a corporate professional, and as an actor to have some kind of platform to, help some kind of charity or something I feel strongly about. I'd like to make a change in the world before I leave it. And I feel like it's just one avenue. I'm not saying that's the only avenue that I'm working on.
Sure.
I like to shine the spotlight in places that I feel needs it. And sometimes I feel like being in the media helps with that. So, I also like people to discover new things. Some of my hobbies are a little different, and I like to explain what I do sometimes, whether it's being a fiddle player or a publicist or classical fencer. There's some really talented people in this world that you hardly hear about them. You see the result of it on the screen, but you never see how people get there behind the scenes and who helps them along the way. So
Right.
I like to I like to do that because nobody ever gets anywhere without other people.
Very true. No question about that. And I love that. I love hearing that about your why. You went to Bowling Green State University.
Mm.
Um, I want to know, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Bowling Green State, or did you was dead set on Bowling Green?
Well, I at the time they didn't have something called sports medicine for a degree.
Mhm.
It was under the guise of either emergency medicine on the field or um, physical therapy or orthopedic surgery, but they didn't have something that was like for sports. The one that I chose was physical therapy. And it seemed like the Bowling Green program was a little farther along. It was between Bowling Green, OU, and Ohio State. I wanted to stay
Mm,
in
okay.
Ohio because I'm a family girl and I like it. I like to study there, and I'm not really a party animal. And I feel like Bowling Green was the better fit for me. It was only a few hours away from, it was far enough away from my home, but
Right.
close enough where you can store your laundry for 2 weeks and go home and do your laundry at home instead of the laundromat at school, right? Um,
Right.
but I loved college. It was a very I had a lot of fun in college. I worked a lot. I studied a lot and I worked. I was a model during that time. So
Okay.
I was very lucky to have professors that let me take my studies on the road. Um, I had fun. I liked college. Yeah, but
I can.
I wasn't stuck with that particular college. I could have been persuaded. It's just that I doing the deep dive into the program that I was looking for, it just seemed to be the best fit.
I like it. I do. I can definitely see you being a model. You definitely have a beauty about you that's unquestioned. No question
Oh,
about that.
thank you. That's
You're
very
very
kind.
welcome. Very welcome. So if I'm hearing you right, you said sports medicine was kind of, or sports along that track is what you were looking for as far as your major. Uh,
Right.
so so did you not start off wanting to be an actress? Did you want it to be like in sports first, and then like how did acting come about?
I feel like this is how a lot of actors get into acting. Unless you have a theatrical family, or nobody in my family is an actor. I did plays when I was when as far as like the community center. That's how you make all your first friends. I was always the star, and so I had this little knack for acting. Um, and I enjoyed it. I like being around people and making people laugh more than anything. Like I like to. I'm not afraid to be in front of people. Um, and I feel like that was a little thing that I did when I was a kid. but I also was a cheerleader, and I was also on the track. I ran hurdles. I did a lot of things when I was a kid. I was very lucky to, I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids do a lot of things, but I was pretty adventurous when I was a kid. I had a military dad, and we went everywhere. We camped in the middle of nowhere. We
I like that. That's pretty
jumped
cool.
jumped off of cliffs and into like you see on television a lot, where they jump off the cliff and into the water
Mhm.
500 feet below, whatever. I We had a pretty exciting life as a kid, and so that kind of influenced what I chose for college also, because I used to teach cheerleading camp with my summers, and um, I saw a lot of injuries, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fix everybody that gets hurt, because I hate to see people in pain. And then so I studied that. And of course,
Mhm.
being from the Midwest, from a family from Cleveland, Ohio, it's like they want you doctors or lawyers, or something very serious that's going to put you through life. And
Right.
acting's not part of it. Acting's something you do on the side. And it's funny because it was always the common thread my entire life, starting from when I'm like a little kid. I could barely say words. They would tell you what to say on the side of the stage, right? So
Right.
it was always there, but it was always on the side of everything else that I was doing in life. So when I became a model to help put myself through school. So I used to travel around the world with this company called Hawaiian Tropic, and which
Okay.
was the amazing. I I am so grateful that I met those people, and I met the girls, and I met the owner, who now passed away. But it was the such an amazing time of my life. So I was studying really hard, and I was running all over the world doing charity events with with other people, races, every big event that was going on in the world, there we were. So I got my experience with the world doing that. And then so the thing that was I was using to put me through school also was part of the entertainment business. So then I did my intern at NASA, and so very serious, but then the government shut down our program. And
Wow. Okay.
so it was right next to it was in I went to the Hawaiian Tropic was in Florida. So he's like, "Oh, just come and work in the office, and then, you can model." So I did that for a little while, which kind of gave me the corporate side. And then I started, oh gosh, it's such a long story. So I had two paths always running. I had the entertainment
Mhm.
alongside the corporate, and it's still that way. And I always used one to do the other. They just always sort of cross paths for
So
me.
overlapped is what you're saying.
And
They always
still, it
overlap.
still does. Yeah. All these
Okay.
years later, it still just sort of weaves in and out of each other. And I like that I can do my creative part of my life, but I also like the business part of it. I like corporate. I even like to do the behind the scenes of the entertainment business. I'm a producer also. So
Okay.
I like that. I like the knowing what's going on behind the scenes, but then I also like my corporate job. I really like to dress up and in my suit, and be very serious, and have this other life. And then I always feel like the acting is my fun part, right? And
Yeah, like your escape almost from the corporate
yeah, a
side.
little bit. Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
also difficult. I mean, people think acting's easy, but when somebody throws the script in front of you and you have to become somebody else, you have to be a chameleon and just turn into that person, and feel all those emotions and tell that story in a believable way.
Mhm.
So if you don't know, if you're not trained to do that, it's going to come out terrible. The same
Yeah.
with the corporate part. If you don't know what you're doing, you can screw up a lot of things, right? I mean, you're corporate too. You have, you have, so you're very much like me. Writing is very creative, but it's
Yes.
also the
Mhm.
behind the scenes business part. So you understand me. I think you understand because you still it's still there's still a technicality to what you're doing.
Oh, no, no question. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
absolutely.
just all clouds and butterflies, it's got some bravada to it. So um I like having both. I like difficult things. I think that's why I learned to play the violin and I learned classical fencing. I like things with a big learning curve.
Mhm.
So acting's one of them. People think you can just get up there. Maybe if you have a line or two on a show or something, it's not that. I mean, you just get there, you serve your line, but just getting to the point where they put you in something like that is not easy. You have to prove
No, it's
yourself
a
before you
process.
get to say one line, right?
It's a
Um,
process. No
it's a
question.
process, right? And it's more about, who knows you rather than anything else to get one of those. But when somebody hands you like a real part with real lines and a real character you have to spend months on developing that. People don't understand that difficulty in that, but it's also a joy, you know? It's
Yeah. Oh,
also,
yeah.
you got to love what you do.
You do. You do.
Doesn't matter
Absolutely.
what it is. It doesn't matter what it is, right?
No, no, not at all. And you definitely have to love what you do. I know I love journalism with a passion, no question
Yeah.
about it. I love covering games, love going to events, but I also love talking to different guests on here as well because recently I've been talking to a lot of different voiceover actors and actresses, and I've gotten the itch to want to do something like that because I love theater, I love musicals, I
Well,
love plays.
you have a wonderful voice. I
Oh,
mean
thank you.
I mean,
Appreciate
you're
that.
a little tiny picture on my screen, but I'm sure you're handsome also, but you have a wonderful voice. There is no reason why you can't do a voiceover or even be an actor. It takes some studying though. I'm going to tell you
It does.
this. It
It
takes some
does.
studying. Um Voiceover is a complete it's acting without showing your face. So even that takes a little training. But I always tell somebody if they're interested in it, just start taking classes first. You always got to take the classes, and that gives you a taste of it. And some people,
Yep.
they're like, no way am I going to do this. And some people are like, wow, this is really fun. I really want to go deeper on this. So that's
Yeah, that's
how
my
you,
goal.
yeah,
That's a
that's how you really figure it out. Is just like you just do it, right? Just,
absolutely. No, no question about it. I actually had it's funny you said that, Kelly, because I had an interview, not an interview. Someone gave me like a text message and said, "Would you like to do like a virtual open call?" And we have an open call from this time to this time. And I said, yeah, sure. And then they sent me a script, and it was a Pringles pizza crisp script that they wanted me to
nice.
read for like a voiceover. And I read it, and then the gentleman was like, well, you know, I want to interview you. I want to give you a call back, and I want you to come back and talk to me the very next day. And
Good.
mind you, I've never done anything like that before in my life. I was just been intrigued because some of the things that I've been witnessing and seeing from different voiceover people that trained and studied and actors and actresses, like I said, I have an appreciation for what you guys do because it's not easy. No,
No,
not at all. And but I love the fact that you can bring art to film or video. I love the fact that you can be somebody else. I'm Chris every day, so to be somebody else or to voice over something for a cool commercial or to play a part that's different from Chris or Kelly, it's just amazing to me how you can get into that mode, right? Whether it's sad, whether it's funny, whether whatever genre of emotion that it is, I just find that so fascinating. So he called me back and he was like, "If
yeah,
you
you
made it
got a
this."
call back. That's amazing. That's great,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah, it was my first time ever doing it, and I was just trying to just read the script and stuff like that, and he said, "Okay, I want you to take classes." And I was trying
Yep.
to understand, like, classes. I'm like, "What you mean?" Man, he was like, "Yeah, classes. I want you to take these classes," and he said it was about 30 classes that you take. And then from there, he kind of broke down what it is. Like from those classes, we would put you out in 3 months locally, see if you can go around and find some work locally. Then we'll start helping you nationally. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's the process. So I said in 25, I want to make that dedication to myself because it's something I definitely want to dabble
Right.
into. I don't know if I want to do it full time, excuse me, but it's definitely something I'm interested in for sure.
Well, it kind of takes over after a while. I mean, what's going to end up happening is you have sections of full time this and then full time that, and you have to figure
Mhm.
out how to make that work in your life. Classes are definitely where to start. Make sure it's a reputable class, somebody
Yeah,
that you see, um, that has actors that are working, like that come to this class. Definitely take it, but there's no um, there's no reason why. I mean, you have like I said, you have a great voice. There's no reason why you can't do a commercial right off the bat, but it does take some training to get a character from your, even as a voiceover, even when I do voiceovers, I'm acting. You can't
mhm.
see me, thank God, but I'm acting, and you have to make the correct inflections, and you have to make it sound like people are watching a movie with their eyes closed. When you get
Absolutely,
into the storytelling part, but for commercials and stuff, you can, if you listen to the commercials, if you shut your eyes and you listen to commercials on television or whatever, however you hear your commercials, if you can mimic that a little bit, that'll give you some idea of what you need to do. That doesn't mean you shouldn't take classes, but
sure,
you can always start something. You can always get that one commercial. You can always get that one something, a little bit of a fluke, but if you want to get anywhere, you got to train yourself. Doesn't matter it doesn't even matter if it's voiceover. If you want to get anywhere in any, you got to get some training, whether it's fencing,
absolutely.
whether it's acting, whether it's,
Journalism,
martial
yeah,
arts, journalism, anything.
absolutely.
You got to train yourself, and you got to never stop. And
I
if you
love it.
want to stop training, you might as well, that means you lost your passion anyway.
I love it. I love that, Kelly. I do. Let me ask you some favorite questions.
Mm,
Uh, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay. So here we
yep.
go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, cheese. Cooking. Well, anything Italian. Because I like to eat Italian. But
Mm-hmm.
if I like to cook, I like to cook a good steak for someone. I don't eat meat myself, but I grew up with it because my dad was a hunter. Um,
Mm,
but I can cook all that game meat and meat because that's what everybody in my family outside of myself would eat. So I know how. It's like I know how to do it. I also love to make apple pie. I love the way the house smells.
okay.
I love everything from choosing the apples to the spices and the whole grandma's recipe on the pie dough.
Absolutely. I'm
That's
with you
like
on that.
I'm getting ready to make one now for Christmas. So I like
Well,
cooking sweet things because it's always fun to lick the spoons.
yes, it is. No question about that. And I'll definitely have to keep that in mind. If I'm ever in your area, I definitely would love the steak, apple pie. You said all three things is good. And I'm a
Oh,
huge
good.
Italian
Yeah,
too.
but my
Mm,
favorite thing to eat is just like mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese. Like literally.
there you go. You can't go wrong with that. I love it. Okay. We're starting off pretty good. All right, here we go. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh, probably The Cure. I'm old. I'm old. I'm like a child of the 80s, 90s. So I had
Mm,
the most fun, and it's all personal. Doesn't even matter about the band. It's just the people that I went with. They were so much fun. It was in college. We had a lot of
okay.
fun.
I like that.
That's all I'm
Okay.
going to say.
Yeah, listen, I'm pretty sure you had some really, really crazy type nights, as most college people do, for sure. So I'm with you on that. The Cure, I like that.
Yeah, but
Favorite,
I've
go ahead.
I've been to a few concerts. I'm not really a big concert goer. I don't like to get stuck. Like a lot of people like to do the stuck in the middle of the crowd thing. That's not what I like. I really enjoy listening to music itself, but I don't want to get squashed.
I feel
Especially
that.
not at
Yeah,
this age, right?
I feel that. Okay, no doubt, no doubt. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love obviously I love Europe because I go to Europe
Mm,
every year.
Okay.
I do, and I go to the same places because I love them so much. I think my favorite place in the whole world that I've been to, and that doesn't mean I've been everywhere, but I love the Highlands of Scotland. I love the people there. I like to play my fiddle there. I think it's one of the most majestic, beautiful places I've ever been. And I'll continue to go because I have friends there, and they tell me there's little fairies running around. I haven't seen one yet, but working on it.
You definitely let me know if you ever do. That'd be that's amazing for sure. And this, I don't think I've ever had a guest on here that says they play the fiddle. That is amazing. I love that. I love to hear that. I am definitely going to say Jamaica for me.
Oh,
Jamaica,
I've
yeah,
heard
Jamaica.
so many good things about Jamaica. My sister took her honeymoon there,
There
actually.
you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
she
I love it.
loved it.
Yes, it was great. It was amazing. Great time. Went on a cruise about a month and a half ago. I'm actually going to go on another cruise this next June to Greece.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, so that's my dad's favorite place is Greece
yeah.
and all of the world. He was in the Navy and he's been everywhere. And he said Greece was his favorite. So good choice.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, it's gonna be a week in June. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have a pretty gracious host, and I'm gonna try to eat as much Greek food as I possibly can. So it's gonna be
Good.
amazing.
I'm perfect.
Uh,
I want to hear stories.
I certainly will come back and tell you about it. That's for sure. I'm a sports person, so Kelly, here we go with a sports question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
Television, I like women's gymnastics because
Okay,
I just sit there with my mouth open the whole time. I mean, the things those girls can do with their bodies, right? It's
right.
like superhuman. Those are super women, like
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
Simone
Um,
Biles is amazing, no
oh,
question.
I love Simone. Oh my God, she's amazing. Love her. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I love things she stands for, everything. Yeah, she's a good one.
Okay. Okay.
I think in person, I've been to a lot because being in sports medicine, um, dated a football player, went to a lot of hockey games because I'm Bowling Green. Um, I do like hockey. I like hockey in person because it's exciting and the crowd kind of gets in with the everything there. But I can't say that, from I mean, a lot of sports do that. I think I like European football in
Okay. Soccer.
person. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
I
got you.
like football. Don't get me wrong. I like sports. I love basketball. I love LeBron James. Cleveland, then LA. We're
That's
following
what's
each
up.
other.
Yep.
Um I do like football. I think it's always, as long as it's cold. I went to Green Bay, Wisconsin a lot to watch football. So I
Sure. Sure.
I'm also a Cleveland Browns fan.
Got
Um
your
because
heart.
Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh and the whole town of Cleveland is, they just love their team, right?
Oh yeah, they love the dog pound. There's no question
Oh
about
my
that.
God, I've been in the dog
Yeah.
pound a few times. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it's more about the people going to the
Okay.
games now, but I do, I mean, I love the Lakers. Um I love the Dodgers.
Mm.
I love the
Lakers are my
Mets.
favorite team. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I love the Yankees. So
That's
I've
interesting.
got
Okay.
I've got my favorite baseball, I've got my favorite basketball. I like watching. It depends also like what I'm doing at the time and who's playing, you know. But
Okay. Awesome.
I think my favorite is European football. Only
European
because
football.
only because of everything. Like if you want to add the different elements of stuff, like personal feats of like gymnastics, the things they could do with a soccer ball, the excitement of the crowd.
Mhm.
Nobody's real. I mean, sometimes they look like they're killing each other, but um, it's, I always have this thing about like American football. I really love to watch it, and I'm a fan of, like I said, of a few teams. Um, my ex boyfriend died of, you know, too many hits in the head. So
Okay. Sorry to hear
so
that.
yeah, so there's like it's hard for me to watch it now and not say, "Ooh," how many times, did that happen and how could it's not
Sure,
easy,
sure.
when it hits
Absolutely.
home.
Absolutely. No, I definitely understand that. I'm a huge sports lover, as I stated. Only sport I can't get down with is cricket. That's because I don't really understand it well. But every other
But
sport,
you know that as soon as you understand the rules of the game, next thing you know, you're watching it and you're loving it. Just like with anything else in life, as soon as you get it, as soon as you
mhm,
understand it, all of a sudden, it's what's going to happen with you with voiceovers and acting.
appreciate it. I appreciate that. Last of the favorites, I'm a huge foodie person. You're actually in my hometown state, which is California. I'm from San Diego.
Oh,
So
beautiful there.
very familiar with California, but I want to know what are some favorite restaurants of yours to go eat there in Los Angeles?
Oh my God. So I cook a little bit and I have friends that cook and I have friend chefs, and so my kitchen gets used a lot. Um, I believe that the only time I actually go out here, because I'm a workaholic, is
I
when
love
we
it.
have is when we I have a business meeting, or my
Hmm.
girlfriends from that I'm still friends with from Hawaiian Tropic come in town, and then they love the fancy places. So we end up in places like Nobu or whatever. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
but I've been to a lot of different places here. I don't really have any favorites. I have like a favorite for each thing that I like. It's
Hmm.
like I like this place for this thing, this for this thing. Um, but I think my kitchen's my favorite restaurant.
I would definitely say Nobu out there for
Nobu's
sure.
fun, right? Nobu's
Yes,
good.
yes, definitely Nobu.
And they're always throwing
Uh,
some experiment in front of me, and then they're like, try it.
right, right, and I love that. I do. Whenever I get a chance to go out there, still have family out there in Los Angeles with cousins and stuff. We always check out Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles too. I love
Oh
that.
yeah, that's a good one, right? I think
Huge,
I've
huge.
stopped there. I think we did a run there once.
Oh, see, there you go. So I love the Roscoe Chicken and Waffle spots, and like I said, I love Nobu. I'm a huge lover of Mexican food, so any carne
Mm.
asada spots that have cheese or steak tacos, I'm with it. So definitely, next time I'm out there in Los Angeles, I'll definitely have to stop and say hello to you for sure.
Okay. I
No
wish I
doubt.
was better at Mexican food. I'm not. I because there's so many really great restaurants everywhere
There
around
is.
here with Mexican food. So I'm just like, nope, that's one we're going out for.
I love it. I love that. Okay, that's what's up. Pretty dope. Let's talk about your day to day. I can imagine, being an actress, you're getting scripts. You probably have an agent that's getting you all kind of stuff.
I have an
You know,
agent, I have a manager, I have
days are never the same.
coaches, I have
Right. Days are all scrambled. They're never the same. And every day is an experience. Every day is something different. Take me through a typical life in a day of Kelly Poling as an actress, as a producer. Like, what kind of things are you doing? When does your day start? When does your day end? And stuff like that.
well, I work on New York time because that's where my office is, corporate. So I get up in the morning and early, and I feed my dog. I have a little dog. And then I start working corporate stuff. So I'm working corporate until around 10 a.m. when stuff starts coming in with the acting. So then you apply to stuff. This is when you get your auditions that come in. You start printing it out, reading it, talking to your agent. Then you do another corporate email. And then you talk on the phone, and then you have a corporate Zoom, and then you go back. Like right now, I have two auditions sitting on the table, and one thing that I have to film at home. I'm hosting it's like a show that it's like I film whenever I have free time, which it's hardly ever, and then they edit it and put it up on they in segments between the stuff that they're doing. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a show host. So that's easy. That stuff's easy because you're just yourself,
Right.
talking
Right.
about whatever segment that's coming up next.
Right.
Like,
Right.
wish it was more. It's kind of like Elvira without being Elvira.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Or
What kind of
or
show
if
is
you're
it?
from Cleveland, Big Chuck and Little John. There used to be this you're not old enough. There used to be this the like it's called the Big Chuck and Little John show, and it's like they would play like mostly scary movies, and they would talk in between, when the commercial breaks, they would come back on and say something funny.
Okay.
Um or the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Now
so
I know about that one. What
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
show
yeah.
is it that you're doing?
So I'm kind of like that.
That you do?
I like do show host stuff.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
pre-recorded, so it's more like for, you know, they get to edit it. I probably get
Okay.
silly because sometimes I end up doing it at like until like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow.
Because
Okay.
it's like at the end of my day, that's when I have time to do it. But then I work my corporate job, and then the producing side, I'm always on the phone. Like those calls come in depending on where in the world the other people are coming from. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy all day long. I do take time for myself to go to the gym. I also play the fiddle, like I said. I'm on FaceTime because you can't really Zoom sucks for playing musical instruments.
Right.
So we do FaceTime with people from Scotland, and I play the fiddle with them.
Mm.
Um, and then so I take little pieces of time out where I can, or I just sort of disappear for an hour or two.
I
And
love
they
it.
don't know where I go. But you have to, if you don't take those moments for yourself or those couple of hours for yourself, if you don't steal them, then next thing you know, your day is gone and you've done nothing for yourself, and you wonder why you don't feel good. So
Sure. Absolutely.
because you have to if you don't take care of yourself, who's gonna?
I
There's not gonna
feel
be
that.
somebody standing over you going, okay, it's time for your, go to the gym now, turn everything off. You have to do it yourself.
All right. All right.
So
I
I
feel that.
steal I steal hours of the day just to either train or do something for me. But I don't stop working until 2, 3 in the morning. But
That is pretty late, Kelly, but that's okay. That's all right because you're getting a
but
lot of work done, and that's okay.
yeah, but when you love what you do and you
Mhm.
feel like you're making some kind of a difference, it doesn't matter.
I love it. Okay. Now, what kind of show do you do? You say you host a show. What kind of show is it?
It's like an 80s and 90s television show that, I mean, like they take commercials, like it's nostalgia. It's a nostalgia show where they would show clips and pieces of something from the 80s and 90s, um that people would see on TV. So if you're into that kind of like old movies or old commercials or old toys from the 80s and 90s, it's something that uh it's a retro show,
Okay.
which is fun
Retro.
because I remember all those commercials when I was a kid.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I would love to see that.
Yeah, it's on
Where
the
you guys?
resume, you'll see it.
Okay.
And then I used to be a host for MTV during spring break. So it's like
Mm,
show hosting is just something that we've always done.
okay. I like
Yeah.
that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Sort
I
of
want
like
to
being a
ask.
sports announcer for girls in
Right.
bikinis.
Right. Right. Little different. Little different. Okay. Let me ask you this right here about mental health and work life balance. Um, this is so prevalent. Sorry.
Yes.
In our occupations. Like a lot of people in journalism have stepped aside and went to different occupations because they could not handle the grind of journalism, and their mental health was being affected. I can only
Yeah.
imagine is for actor and actresses and in that kind of film industry media. Talk to me about how you keep your mental health strong, but also, also still try to have work life balance, right? You seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you. But as you just pointed out, you are very busy and sometimes stay up till wee hours of the morning doing things that you love. So tell me, how do you keep your mental health strong without experiencing that burnout, but also still try to have that work life balance?
Remember I told you about stealing a few hours for yourself?
I did.
Yeah, you got to, because if you're not going to steal it, who's going to do that? You gotta put yourself number one. You have to pretend like you're dating yourself. And how would you treat that person? Would you want them to just be working and burning themselves out? Or would you try to encourage them to, you know, Like, you gotta love yourself. You gotta make sure, like, my training though, the stuff that I really love to do, like, I love fencing. I It's also training still for the action parts of movies. Even if I don't have a movie part coming up with swords in it, still it's like physical chess. It keeps your mind strong.
Okay.
And but to you can't fence by yourself, right? So there's that you usually have, it's like a social club. It's like you have these people that are have the same interest you do. They may not be interested in the movies. In fact, most of them are like, "Oh God, the movies," but they love the challenge of fencing. And so you share that common interest, and it kind of takes you outside of your work because you hardly ever talk about the acting or the public relations part. You're talking about fencing, and you're talking about history and who used what sword and what movie did what. If you talk about a movie, it's like how bad was the fencing in that movie, right? It's like
Right.
something like
Right.
that. Or if you're doing fiddle, if you're playing the fiddle, it's like most of the time for Scottish fiddle, especially, you do something called a Kelley, and it's like a circle of friends. Everybody's playing an instrument, whether it's a fiddle or something else, and you're playing songs. Or like, okay, let's do this song. You're with another group of people. You're not talking about movies. You're not talking about work. You're talking about songs. You're talking about culture. You're talking about
Yeah.
what whiskey somebody brought or whatever. Not that I don't drink, so it's not kind of thing doesn't bother me. But
Mhm.
or if you but it's still, being a musician is still a good skill to have for acting. And it's also very difficult, and it's something that helps you if you have if you're constantly memorizing songs, so it helps you learn how, keep your mind strong for memorizing lines. And there's a rhythm and a cadence to a song. There's also a rhythm and a cadence to a script, as you know.
Right. Right.
So it's, even though you're doing these things that are outside of your job, that the ones that can burn you out, you're also you have the support system. I have my fiddlers, I have my fencers, and then you have to have some kind of spirituality, right? You have to have faith in something bigger than yourself, even if it's not a god. You have to believe that mine is God, but you have to believe that in something that's um it's got to be bigger than yourself, because why are you here, right? Make some
Mm.
kind of freaking difference in this world somehow,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Even if it's small, don't step on an ant today or something, you know what I mean? Just
Right.
make some kind of effort to make the world that we live in a better place, or a child's life, or just smile, or at a couple, an old couple sitting on a bench, or just anything that is outside of yourself, right? And then
Absolutely. No doubt.
you got to make sure you learn about your finances, right? Because the thing that causes the most stress in a person's life outside of death of family or friends or whatever is money.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like not only do parents need to start educating their children at a young age about finances, but also educate yourself as much as you can, so that you're not making dumb you don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to, you know, you want to feel okay. You want to be able to go to sleep at night without worrying about how that bill's going to get paid. So you have to become powerful in yourself and realize that who's going to take care of you but you,
Mm.
right? So
I
once you
like
have
it.
all these things in your life, I mean, there's more. There's obviously more, but I'm just giving you a couple. Um, how you're supposed to make sure you don't get burned out and stressed out, and that's how I do it, at least.
Okay.
I'm always learning something new, and it makes me feel alive.
I like that. I do. I appreciate that answer too. And that's a great segue, Kelly, to the next question, which is advice.
Mm,
I'm sure that you run into a lot of people that want to be in this profession of, media acting, and just the film industry as a whole. What kind of advice would you give someone that is a postgraduate or maybe is an intern? or maybe somebody is just hanging around the set that just wants to really be in this film industry, what kind of advice would you give that individual?
Well, first you have to know who you are. You have to sort of define yourself and how you think you would fit in. And that might mean experimenting. Like, but I would experiment not in front of the camera. I would experiment behind, take classes, take different kinds of classes, there's different acting methods. Like, figure it out. Sometimes people start off and they think they want to be an actor, and then they realize, no, what I really want is to be an editor because I like to see the footage afterwards, and then look to see how this is. Then you do, next thing you know, you're shadowing the editor, and you're like, that's what I really want to do. So you have to find your place, and then dive in. You got to maybe experiment a little bit. I don't, it usually, hopefully by the time you're postgraduate, you kind of already figured it out.
Sure, sure.
But it doesn't, education matters a lot. However, it's the real life stuff. Your real education starts when you start to meet the people.
Oh yeah, no question.
And like I said, it's not always about who you know in the industry, it's about who knows you. So it's a long road unless you do something. And it's very rare that it happens, like you do something great or you do something bad. Let's hope it's not something bad where people start to know who you are. Like
Yeah, let's
a
hope. Yeah.
celebrity in you could be a celebrity in one way or a celebrity in another. Try to be a celebrity in a good way. Not you know what I
Without
mean?
question. Without question.
Um, you don't wanna you don't want to get pigeonholed into a bad spot right off the bat. So
Sure.
y- um take it slow, know your path, don't waste your time. Just try to figure out the best way to get to where you want to be. Find your heroes, whoever they may be, and figure out how they got from point A to point B and kind of emulate it, but be your own person too, because nobody does you better than you, right? Um it's good to
Absolutely.
have like a pathway. It's good to be able to see a path towards it. And even if it's not like a clear path, work your way around it. Just the best lessons come from mistakes anyways, right? Nobody
Yeah,
learns anything from
best
being perfect.
yep.
Don't be afraid to make little mistakes. Don't do anything huge, but just I don't know, sometimes it's not like I haven't made some huge mistakes, but I've got some great lessons from those those mistakes.
Absolutely. No
but
question. I think
but literally that's just it. You got to be a little fearless, and just start and don't push it too much, but push it, push yourself a little bit. Go to the uncomfortable spots and do the extraordinary things if you're able. Do you know what I mean?
oh yeah. No, absolutely. That's a great answer. I love that. I I substitute teach as well.
Oh, I
Not
love that.
yeah, I
Teachers are my
definitely
heroes.
thank you. I appreciate it. I definitely tell my young boys and young girls, especially the high schoolers, two things. One, try everything, no matter what profession it is. I'm in journalism, that type of media, but you're in film. But whatever profession it is, just try everything. You
Mm.
want to see what you can do, what you don't want to do, what you like. Like you said, you may
That's the
walk.
only way to figure it out is try it all, make some mistakes, just know what you like and what you don't. I mean, there's stuff you're going to know you don't like right off the bat. You don't even have to try it. But if there's something that you're slightly curious about, like you said, I like that you tell your kids that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want to tell them that. The second thing that I normally tell them is be comfortable being uncomfortable. Uh,
Mm.
something that I live my life by. A lot of them say, "What do you mean by that?" And I just tell them that in life, you are going to meet people that may not make you comfortable. You'll do jobs that may not make you comfortable. You'll do assignments here in school, and you'll just have different things in life that will be uncomfortable for you, probably primarily. But if you turn that uncomfortable situation into a comfort of your own, It allows you to deal with things. It allows you to harden your character. It allows you to deal with difficult situations, bounce back from adverse situations, and just handle them more maturely and professionally. Because, like I said, out in the real world, you're going to have situations where they come up where it's not going to be comfortable all the time. So, if you be comfortable being uncomfortable, it just allows you to deal with situations better,
And
and
grow.
and grow, no doubt. So I
Nobody
like
grows in their comfort zone.
no, not at all. So that's why I do this podcast, Kelly. There's an A side and a B side, right? We're talking about the A side of doing scripts, writing stories, doing what you love, producing, all the work that goes into it. But there is a B side as well,
Hmm.
and that's the behind the scenes stuff, right? They see you in front of the screen, right? They see you acting in movies and they see you doing that. They're like, wow, look at this talented actor who's very beautiful in front of the screen, doing what she loves to do. And they think about the glitz and the glamour, but they don't understand what goes into it to get you to that point and the behind
Hmm.
the scenes look. And that's why I do this podcast, because I want people to understand that if this is professions that you really want to do, then you need to understand what comes all with it. Now, if you still want to do it, that's amazing, that's awesome, and do it with all the love that you have for it. But you can't like half-ass this.
That's
Uh,
right. There's no
anything.
half-assing in making it in this one.
No, and that's
At
that's what
least,
I try.
at least not being an actor worth talking about, right? Like you gotta have some passion for it.
You do. You got
Yeah.
to have some passion. So you just got to be decisive in your decision making on whether or not you want to pursue this or not. If you don't, that's great. That's fine too.
Hmm.
But if you make that decisive decision to do it, understand that you got to do it for the right reasons. So that's something that I definitely advocate to my kids, and I like to also, have these conversations with different people on here who are journalists, who are in journalism, or who are actors, or who are in whatever profession that they pursue.
That's right. And it can't always be for the money, because
It's
in
really
our
true.
in our gig society, the money comes, the money goes, the money's not there, the money's there. It's
You
very
ain't lying about that.
unpredictable. That's where you have to learn about your finances.
Right.
It's better to have a
Absolutely.
financial degree and
You
do
right
your
about that.
passions, do your passions also, but make sure you have a solid business base.
No doubt. No doubt on that. I like that. We've come to the portion of the podcast. So now we are going to do this or that. That is an interactive game that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. What I do, Kelly, is throw some things at you and you get to choose this or that. So, Kelly, are you
Mhm.
ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Which chicken place would you rather? I know you don't eat meat, but if you had to choose from before, which chicken place would you rather go to? Popeyes or KFC?
Oh my God, I love KFC mashed potatoes. KFC.
So there you go. KFC.
Seriously. Yeah, they have
Now,
great mashed potatoes.
if you had to choose a chicken place to eat chicken wings, which flavor would you choose? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Try.
Do
I
you
don't
like
do
what?
wings. I don't do wings, but I'm imagining if I did, this is what I would
Okay.
choose.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
Okay, I like that. I can respect that. All right, that's pretty good. Now, these next five questions have to do with concerts you rather attend. Okay, so here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Journey or would you rather see the Eagles?
Eagles, but only with somebody to make out with, because that's make out music.
I'm with you on that. Ain't nothing wrong with that now. Okay, here we go. Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see Def Leppard or would you rather go see Kiss?
Oh my God. Kiss.
You
Legends.
sure? You sure?
Yes, because they're legends. Def Leppard, I've never been to a concert by Def Leppard, so I might be missing something that I don't even know about. But
Okay.
it's not that I dislike their music. It's not it at all. It's just that
Okay.
Kiss, I mean, I see these guys. I see the Kiss guys running around town here, so
I feel you on
I'd
that.
like to see
Okay,
them play again.
that's awesome. I love that. Which music concert would you rather go to? This is the hypothetical one. Would you rather go see
Okay.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh man, Prince. I
Okay.
love Prince.
Hmm.
Not
Prince
that
is
I don't like
amazing.
Michael Jackson, but I love Prince. I've always loved Prince.
That's okay. That's all right. I love them both too, but you
Yeah.
gotta choose one. You gotta choose one of them. I'm with
Um,
you on that. Here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? This is R&B. Would you rather go see Boys the Men or would you rather see New Edition?
oh, New Edition. I like some of their songs better than Boys the Men, but
Okay.
they're both good.
They are. They are. There would be
Yeah,
no Boys the Men without New Edition. So I certainly
that's
understand.
that's right.
Okay. Now, last one here. Which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Faith Hill or Shania Twain? Oh, this one,
Shania, maybe.
this is a tough one for you.
Yeah, because I don't really know any other music, either one.
That's why. I got you. That's
Yeah,
okay.
but I feel like I know a little more Shania than I know Faith. Of course, I could be wrong because I could have listened to a song and it was Faith. It's not my genre, but yeah,
I
maybe.
like I like it. That's okay. That's all right. Now, this is another one I want to ask you, another hypothetical.
Okay.
But which music concert would you rather go to? Would you rather see Janet Jackson or Mariah Carey?
Oh man, I haven't seen Janet in a long time and I love her. It's not that I don't like Mariah, but I'm a Janet Jackson fan.
Okay, all right. No
Yeah.
question about it. You know, she had one of the greatest tours of all time in that Rhythm
Oh
Nation.
man.
So there's
I
no question
loved
about
Rhythm Nation.
it. No question about it. All right, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. Do you like desserts, Kelly?
Oh yeah. Desserts first sometimes.
Okay. Okay, I'm with you on that. Now, I know we talked about you baking apple pies, so here we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name four categories of
Oh.
dessert. You got to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. Okay, so here we go. The first category is cake. So that's also pies in there too. Okay.
Okay.
The next one is cookies.
Okay.
The next one is ice cream. The last one is candy. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Um, Probably candy.
Okay. I
Yeah.
would have got rid of candy too.
Yeah.
You vibing, girl. You on point like a period right now. I love it.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love it. Here we go. Do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay. Same format. I'm gonna name four, and you four brands. You gotta get rid of one of these. Okay. So
Okay.
here we go. First brand is Pringles. The next brand is Doritos. The next brand is Ruffle. The last brand is Lay's. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
Pringles.
You was decisive on that one. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
pressed potatoes.
I feel it. I feel that. Now, what's your favorite ice cream?
Um, Vanilla bean. French vanilla bean.
It's pretty good. It's
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
there's probably one flavor of vanilla. I mean, one flavor of ice cream that I know I don't like, and it's like olive oil. Some kind of weird flavor like that. And I was like, this is really awful. But I don't
Hmm.
really dislike any ice creams.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll damn sure stay away from olive oil. That's not if I ever see
Yeah,
that.
it was something my niece bought, put it in the freezer, and I'm like, oh, well, let me try this, and it was awful.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If it wasn't acting, as far as being in the media industry, a career that you would pursue, what career path would you have chosen to pursue, and why?
Um, I really wish I could have been a doctor.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I would have made a really great doctor, but I always had trouble with cutting the skin.
Ooh.
I
Okay.
know. Like I can't be a tattoo artist. I'm an artist. I like to paint and, you know, I like
Right.
to
Creative
create
art.
beautiful things, but I
Yeah.
just I couldn't I have trouble piercing the skin for some reason. So I
I
would have loved to have been a surgeon, Would have loved to have been a nurse. It takes a lot of dedication and it doesn't fit my personality at all because I always have to do like 4 or 5 different things. I
Hmm.
have like 4 or 5 different paths that I go down. And that I feel like if I was a surgeon, it's like one path you have to go down. Like
Mm.
there's nothing else. There's like this is what you do. And so it doesn't fit me at all. But I wish I could have because I think I would have been good at it.
Mm.
Does that
I
make
think
if that
you.
makes any
Yeah.
sense? I wish I have in my next life I want to be a surgeon.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, listen. Speaking into an existence, and it may just happen, Kelly. No question
I
about
know,
that.
right?
I feel that. I love that. I love that. I want to ask you about your latest role, which is Peter. I think about Peter 5'8", if I'm not
It's
mistaken. I
not
may
my latest, but I did do it not too long ago, yeah.
not too long ago. Okay, so I
Yeah, a
want
lot
to.
I've done a few things that aren't quite out yet, but Peter 5'8" was one of last year's roles, yeah.
Yeah, talk to me about doing that role. Since it was obviously the one that I seen that wasn't too far back.
Yeah.
Talk to me about doing that role. How did that role come about? I mean, you're acting with two really good legendary actors, and Kevin Spacey and Rebecca De Mornay. I remember those two from movies from way
Legendary.
back. Legend.
I've always loved Rebecca De Mornay since she did Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yep, I remember her
Um
from that.
and she was always like the pretty girl in what was a Risky Business. Like I was like, "Oh, that girl's so pretty."
Yeah, the Tom Cruise
Um
movie. Yep.
yeah, and
Yep.
so I she was always on, she was always that girl like, "Oh, she's so pretty." I mean, there's a lot of girls I think that, but uh then of course there's Kevin Spacey, who is just a powerhouse knowledge of acting. And I had to audition for the role I have. It wasn't a huge part, not like them, but it was I had a few scenes with Kevin Spacey. I didn't have any with Rebecca De Mornay. Um,
Okay.
but we got to meet her and her daughter was there too and lovely, lovely person. And Kevin Spacey, I've never seen I working with him was so much fun. He would come in and he would do his lines and then as soon as they said cut, he was cracking jokes and it was making everybody laugh and then they would say rolling and then next thing you know we're back in character again. Like I
Right.
feel like I had to do some training to figure out how to go from this person
The
to that person like
transition.
really fast.
Right. That transition is crazy. Yeah, that's
But he
wild.
taught me a lot on, even though I only had a few scenes with him, he, as an actor, you observe people and you see how they do things and they give you advice. And it was, um, he, some of in the way that they act and the way they show up and the way they carry themselves before the film, during the film, and especially after the film and how they show up for the filmmakers and how the professionalism that they portray and what a real good actor does for the entire project. You don't see that, and I didn't see that before working with some of the bigger people that I've worked with, and I think it's just because they've done it so much,
Right. Right.
you know. And that's the way we learn, right? We learn through personal advice. I mean, besides our own classes, but to get to the next level after your classes, after your training, after your memorizing, after your character development, after all that, you learn from watching how other people do their craft and maybe making part of that your own and or maybe picking up a habit that you see that you love that they do, a good habit, you know,
Sure.
something
Absolutely.
that
No.
takes you to the next level. And I'm very grateful for that because I feel like that's what they did is
Amen.
take you to the next they took me to the next level in my acting, just observing them do their work.
I love it. I do. I want to ask you, how do you choose scripts? Like, is there particular roles that you're looking for? Sometimes you hear actors say, "Well, there's a certain role that I'm drawn to, or there's a certain role that I want to do." Do you want to diversify? Like sometimes you want to do comedy, or do you want to do
Um,
suspense, or drama? Like, how do you choose a certain script that fits you?
so in the beginning of your acting career, you do everything. Like you try everything. You try like whatever is, appropriate, and whatever you audition for whatever is mostly age appropriate. It starts
Hmm.
off with like age appropriateness, and then you go for this character, that character, and you see where you do well. As soon as you've done enough characters, you sort of figure out who you are as an actress and what you do well with.
Okay.
I actually love comedy. I thrive in comedy. I I don't know what it is. I feel like there's like a natural I'm naturally drawn to it. Some people find it difficult because of it's usually multicam and it's quicker, and sometimes you have to, you know, make up your lines. Like
Okay.
there's a little
So
bit of
ad lib,
improv. There's a little bit of improv in it. It
improv.
depends. It depends.
Yep.
Sometimes it's word perfect, but I feel like I got the rhythm and cadence of the comedy a little bit better, and it seems to fit my personality a little bit better than something straightforward and more drama. But I have most of the roles I get are drama. I play somebody's mother, and it's like the daughter or the son's in some kind of tragedy, and I'm the the mom. Now, the roles that I'm trained for are action roles. I'm a weapons expert. So
Oh, okay.
I work with, I don't know if you want me to mention, all the weapons I work with, but
Yeah,
um,
sure. Why
I
not?
started with swords
Okay.
but I work with the military with guns. I work on new guns. I have experience with the period pieces.
Hmm.
I do bullwhip.
Okay.
And I have trainers for each of these different weapons that are like experts in their field. So I can't say that I'm an expert in any particular one weapon other than the swords, um,
Right.
or one in particular. But I have a very, I would say, an extensive knowledge of the different weapons in real life and on screen. So
Okay.
I do them for real, but I also know how to adapt them for stage and screen.
Wow. I like
So
that.
that is my side thing. And that's what keeps me, another thing that keeps me sane is just the training that it takes to do those kind of things. So I have all this knowledge, but I don't have the experience yet to be in the kind of roles that require that of me because they don't know me yet. Like
Right.
like I told you, it's about who knows you. It's like I train with this person that does this expert or this person, but to get those parts, it's usually it's either a stunt role, which the stunt coordinators and they have their people that they work with. And because they trust each other, it's a very difficult, stunt people heroes, really. They train really hard and they have hard jobs and they're amazing. I do a little bit of stunt, but nothing like what the real stunt people do. Like I just do fight scenes and weapon stuff and that kind of thing. I drowned a few times. I've done a few things, but nothing to the extent of what I see my friends do when they're training. Just training. I was like, oh my God. um,
Sure. Sure.
um, but I love to have the role like the FBI roles or the CIA roles or the spy roles because I'm trained in that. Like in real life and in the stage and screen. And I can run in heels like no other.
Love it. I love it. That it brings me a great segue question because I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, were there a top four like bucket list of characters that you would like to play in a movie or maybe roles that you would like to get that you haven't acted in yet? You know, you have over 30 plus credits of acting, but I want to know what is there a certain character or role that that's on the bucket list that you have not played yet that you would like to play?
I would like a role like it's, not to compare myself with these actors or anything, these actresses, but I would like a role like Furioso, like Charlize Theron
Kill
in
Bill.
yeah, Kill
Mhm.
Bill or Uma Thurman in Kill Bill or Anna Darmus and John Wick or because I can do these things nobody knows about it. Nobody knows me that well yet to put me in those roles, but those are the kind of things that I like to be able to show off. Um,
Mm,
because I can act and I can do these things. So I'm waiting for a role, and I have had a couple roles. I was an FBI agent in a film. I was the lead in that. I played, I've played it a little bit, but I don't know if it's that I don't look like that kind of person, because a lot of it has to do with how you look. Do you fit the part? Um,
sure.
or if it's just that they're looking for a bigger name actress. I can't
Good with
figure.
that.
I'm working on it though. It's like, and I'm also an older actor, so but there's always, I would love to be like the lead of a group of women spies, that train the girls how to be spies. And do you know what I mean? Like Lioness. I'd love to be on that show, Lioness. I would make
Yeah,
a
something like
good.
Ocean's 8, what Sandra Bullock did with the girls that was
Oh
like,
yes, yeah, I
yeah,
would love to do something like that where I have a little bit of action, I have a little bit of weapons, I have a little bit of, fast paced, you know, um, military scenes, and I mean, that's what I do in real life. So
right.
put me on film doing it. It's just that right now I'm okay with playing mom too. I'm not a mom in real life, so sometimes it's fun to be the character of mom.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to diversify like that. Like I never would have known that you had that kind of training with the weapons, and that's amazing. I appreciate you being open up and let me know. I really do hope I can see you on film doing something like that. Cause I'm like, man, you know what? I talked to that one, and she up there now killing it, doing swinging and swiping and doing everything. So yeah, that would be absolutely amazing to
You'll
see.
see me on Lioness season 3. I'm working on it.
Okay,
Season 3 or
that was
season 4. I'm working on it.
That was my next question, was any upcoming projects that you can divulge as far as working on those projects?
Yeah, I'm in this TV show called The Giant, which is in pre-production. I
Mhm.
play a deputy, but I get my throat slit in the end. However, but it's a good character. It has a nice military background, the backstory to her. Um, yeah, so we're pretty open about that show. We don't really have too many, restrictions about what we can say about it.
Sure.
But I think it might be a good segue into something else. And I'm really excited about filming it, and it's filming in Georgia. So,
Mm, it's awesome. I'm
yeah,
very
and I
familiar
get to
with
work.
Georgia.
My favorite part of it all is I get to work with a bunch of martial artists, like
Okay.
that play my coworkers, like
Okay.
other deputies, and so I like it.
Yeah.
It's gonna have some action to it. It's gonna
Okay.
have some backstory to it, which I like. And so maybe I get to show off a little bit. It
I'm
won't be
hoping so.
glamorous. It's not gonna be a glamour part.
And you said it's called The Giant?
Yeah, it's called The Giant.
The Giant. I like that. I'm very familiar with Georgia as I graduated undergrad out there, lived many years out there. So definitely have a lot of ties there. Family is still there as well. So
Nice.
I don't know if you've been to Georgia or lived there in Georgia, but if you have, great. But if you have not, it is a wonderful place to
It
be.
is a wonderful place. I've been there many times. Yeah, I haven't lived there, but I've been there. I love
It's
Georgia.
actually, yes, indeed. So I like that. I like to hear that. I want to ask you about advice.
Yes.
Now I asked you earlier about advice that you would give someone that wants to be in this industry, but I want to know, what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Always be training. Like they didn't really have to tell me that, but it's very imperative that you don't let your skills slide, no matter what kind of skills they are, whether it's your acting skills, whether it's practicing with other actors and them doing scene study, whether it's taking a class, whether it's doing the stuff on the outside. Like I take dance classes, I still fence, I play the fiddle, I go up to the ranch and work on, you know, weapon work, swords and whips, and I go to New York and train with fencing. Um, so I never stop training. And you know, movement begets movement, and stillness begets stillness. So it depends on what kind of actor you want to be, one that doesn't work or one that's always working.
Hmm, I
So
like it.
you got to stay in motion.
Always be training. I like that. I do. I like that phrase. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Um, we are coming towards the end of the podcast, so what we're gonna do is some rapid fire.
Oh,
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
I
throw
know
some
that's
things
I
at
know
you.
that phrase.
There you go. So I'm gonna throw some things at you, and you the first thing that comes to your mind, you just speak on it. So here we
Okay.
go. Burgers or tacos?
Hamburger. Mexican food is good. American hamburgers are good.
Okay. Here we go. Well, I should say chicken or ribs.
Ribs. Have you ever been to a rib cook-off in Cleveland?
I
So
have
much.
not.
They used
But
to do
next
these.
year I will be going to Cleveland for the first time.
You should try
Uh,
to go during the rib cook-off. They have really great music and really good ribs. It's
is
a
it in the summer?
it's in the summer. Yeah, I think it's in July. I could be
Oh,
wrong. Don't count because it's been a while since I've been to it, but
I am going to Cleveland. There's a National Association of Black Journalists (NABJ) conference
nice.
that happens every year. Next year it's in Cleveland, so I will be going
Perfect.
to that for
Well, they're gonna
sure.
probably send you to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and then go out in the flats a little bit. There's some restaurants down there. Actually, Cleveland has pretty good food.
Okay, I would definitely hit that up for sure. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes. Waffles
Okay,
go way too much butter and syrup, and then all I get is a mouthful of syrup.
I feel that. I feel that. That's just so bad. It is. It sounds so terrible.
It's like squirt, and it's like it's all syrup.
Favorite color?
Green.
Okay,
Today is green. My favorite color changes. I like purple. I like blue. I like red. I like the dark jewel colors, though. It
okay,
usually rotates. Right now, it's green.
great. Okay. Favorite TV show?
Ugh, Lioness. Is am I allowed to say that now?
I love it.
All time TV show. I used to love MASH.
Oh wow,
I used to watch it
that's the
with my dad.
military
I still
show.
watch it with my dad when we go home. When I go home to visit, he's always watching MASH, all the reruns.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I definitely know about that show. Pretty good show. Pretty good show. Favorite alcoholic drink?
I don't drink.
Okay. Favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Water. Drink lots
Mm,
of water.
okay, all right. I'm with you on that.
Evian is my favorite.
I feel that. Okay. Favorite board game?
Chess.
Okay, I like that. Favorite card game?
Whatever everybody at the table knows. If you don't know the rules, it gets slow.
So, are you a spades player, hearts player, Uno, Cards Against Humanity,
I'm called the Queen of Hearts. But yeah, I like poker.
poker? I was gonna say that too. Okay, I like that. If you had a choice between picking three artists or three songs that you would never get tired of listening to, they can stay on repeat, who would those three artists or three
Oh
songs be?
God, it's all classical music. Sorry,
That's
all.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I won't name them all, but anything by let's say,
You can go artists or songs, either one.
let me try to find something modern day. Um, I don't I like all the older stuff, like the stuff from the 80s and the 90s. So
Okay.
I like the stuff from like The Cure, Depeche Mode, Cigarettes After Sex.
Okay.
Like I love all the stuff that probably nobody even knows about or doesn't know about
That's,
anymore.
that's okay. That's
Deftones,
okay. I love it. I love it. So you said cigarettes after sex. You said
Deftones, The Cure. I still
Deftones and the
listen to
Cure.
those when I'm getting ready to go do something. I'm still listening to 80s and 90s music.
I feel it. I feel it. Hey, that's a good groove. Good groove. They have a lot of good songs, a lot of good bands, and a lot of good music on that. Now, his, now this next question is: if you had three people to take with you on a vacation, so plus you would be four. Who would those three people be, and where would you go?
Sister, youngest niece, oldest niece, and me. And we would go to some island where we just get spoiled because the three of them deserve it. I don't care, but I would love to just take my sister and my two nieces someplace where they can work out and eat healthy and go to the beach and
Hmm,
just do whatever they want without anybody else around them. Just a
that sounds
girls'
like a pretty good
vacation.
time. That sounds like a damn good time, Kelly,
Yeah,
for
and I
sure.
love my family, so and I know what they deserve. They're good girls, all of them.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Last of the rapid fire, and that is if they said, Kelly, you have to do only one of these occupations for the rest of your career, which one would you choose? Would you choose the corporate? Would you choose being an actress? Or would you choose something behind the camera as far as producing?
Oh, probably producing.
Okay. Okay.
Because that combines both of them.
Now, have you ever thought about directing?
I don't know if I'd be a good director. I mean, maybe, maybe. I haven't thought about it, just so you know. I mean, this is the first time, like, I went to some director's workshop not too
Mhm.
long ago, and they were talking about it, and I was thinking, um, I at first have to pick the project that I would want to direct,
Mhm.
because I don't think I would want to do like television because you're not really directing, you're sort of like it's more somebody else is telling you what to do.
Okay.
My dog, Byron. Shh. Uh, sorry. I have a beagle.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
But the producing part, I feel like pulls a bunch of different a bunch of different strings. Sorry, Byron, come
You are
here.
all right. You are all right. No worries. No worries on that. I love having live guests on. That's amazing. No, it's just a question that's worth asking, right? I definitely am intrigued. Anytime that I talk to anybody in the film industry, do they ever want to get behind the camera and direct? You obviously are behind it by producing, so it's just a question I definitely like to ask. But even with that being said, Kelly, this has been a pretty dope conversation. Getting to know you growing up in the Ohio area, going to Bowling Green, first having an interest in sports, and then changing it up to the film industry, but also acting while you was in college. That's amazing. And
Mhm.
just to hear about the different things that you've done as far as your credits with your movies, the advice you gave, learning about you a little bit, and also learning about your weaponry skills. Uh, that just tells me not to mess with you. That's for sure. Keep you happy. And yeah, just learning different stuff about you. I really do appreciate your time. And I think I'm a new fan of yours, no question about it. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
coming
a
out.
fan of yours too.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I do appreciate that. Um, my last question, as it always is here on the Work Hard Play Harder podcast, is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
Not about myself. I hope you find all the answers that you're looking for so that you can take whatever step it is that you need to take next to get to your dream. Even if you're walking your dream right now, whatever it is, I hope whatever that next step is that you're looking to take, I hope you take it.
I definitely appreciate that, Kelly, and everybody that's going to view this. I'm sure they will appreciate those words as well. You enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. You and I would definitely be in touch. Don't be a stranger, and we will talk soon.
Thank you, Chris. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Absolutely.